Hi, good day everyone. You're welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be walking you through some logic that you might not know in JavaScript that you always see on website that you might have visited or you're visiting currently now. And if you look at the top right corner of my screen, I have a button called toggle, which changes the mode of this website. Okay, this is the product of SPaICTHub. Okay, now if I click on this button at the top right corner of the screen, you see it changes the background color of the whole website. Okay, then when you click on it again, it switches back to red. That is what they call the mode. Okay, and that is the logic they use in implementing all of those modes we've seen. So today I'm going to be walking you through on how to actually implement yours. Okay, now without further ado, let's get started. Okay, let me just walk through this video. I might not implement this for you now, but I will implement this mode, okay, because of the time. Now look at it. If you choose the video here, from here, click the video, select the video from wherever you have a video. Okay, now because of the copyright, let me take my own video, right? Correct. I have the Amazon clone video. Can you see? Oh, it's actually working. Let me increase the volume. Oh yeah, this is the Amazon website I clone. Okay, can you see it now? We can enlarge this. We have all the full control. Can you see? So we can restore the screen. Okay. All right, let me pause this and walk you through how I implemented this switch mode. All right. First and foremost, let's go to our text editor. I'm going to be creating another folder. Let me stop this from running first. Okay, let's stop this. Let's close this folder. So inside how to do, I'm going to be creating a folder. Of course, we have a work we did here initially sometimes back, so I'm going to be creating the same HTML file inside this how to do folder. Okay, I'm going to be calling it mode.html, and also let's create our mode.css and mode.javascript. Okay, now let me equally do the same like I did some days back, and how to split the windows. So I'm splitting this window into 3 sections. Splits, correct. Let me move it down, close the So now we have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript as we stack it on the screen. So the first thing we need to do first is to create the structure of the website. So now we have HT. Yeah, my IntelliSense is now working, I suppose so. Oh, it's like the IntelliSense is not working. Okay, let's do that ourselves. HTML as a wrapper. We have the head and we have the body. So inside the head, we have the title tag. We supply the title. So the title is JS secret, JS mode secret. Okay, now I think we can link our let's have this one. Let's run this first. Go live. I told you if you don't have this go live at the bottom right bottom corner of your screen, you can actually get that on this other side. Click on the extensions and search for live server. Okay, then from there you can install it when you install it, you have access to this. And also you can right click on this HTML file. You will see open with live server. So let me click on that. Good. We have the title says JavaScript or JS mode secret. Okay, now we don't have anything inside this body. This is the head section that shows the metadata and the title of our web page. Okay, now we have a blank body, so let's put something in there. So a typical website, we have header, main section, and the footer. So let's create a full, let me call this one header. We have an header tag in HTML. Header, good. I'm going to call it header. Then we have the section or main. So I'm going to call this as the main body, where you can have the image being displayed, hyphen and all. So finally, footer. So I'm going to call it footer for the experiment sake. So let's go back to the browser and see. Yeah, we have the header, the main, and the footer. We're not going to be doing much, but because this is what we want to implement, the switch. Okay, however, let's just add some jaras to what we need to learn today. From here, let's give it some HTML styling. So first and foremost, I want to remove any default margin from all the HTML elements. To do that, I'm using asterisk. Asterisk means any element or any tag that has a default margin changes to 0, remove the margin. And you can see from here nothing changes actually, because we have not linked the CSS with HTML. So to do that, we link it inside the head tag. So by using the link tag, HTML link tag. So link, then rel equals to style sheet, then href equals to the name of the CSS. And what is that? Mode.css, and they are inside the same folder, so we don't need it to add any prefixed parts. So what we need to add is just the name of the CSS, which is mode.css. Okay, then let's go back to the, can you see this has been removed? The default margin has been removed. Let me comment this out. As you can see, by default, the body has margin as relating to or relative to the HTML body. So let's remove that and have the full plot for ourselves. Okay, now let's target the head section, the head. So the head, let's give it some height. I told us let's always use class. Let's give it a name. Let's call it header, and the main, let's call it class is equals to main, and the footer class is equals to footer. Then the body, let's call the body container. Okay, all right, now we got everything we need. So let's target the body as a container. Now we have, instead of us using body, the name of the tag, now we can use the class name instead of the body. And of course, you can equally select the element by typing the name of the tag dot the name of the class, which is container. Okay, So this is another way of targeting HTML element. Okay, however, we don't need to stress ourselves, so let's just use what? Class name. Okay, now first and foremost, let me take the whole screen size. If by this time, let me put border for you to see the area that this body is covering. As you can see, it's covering the whole page. It's covering the whole page, taking the 100% width and 100% height. All right, so let's display. So they are stacking all these elements, the header, the main, and the footer. They are blocked elements, and that's why we have them stack upon each other. Can you see? They are stacking upon each other. There are two types of elements in HTML. We have block element and inline element. Blocked element stacked upon each other, like we have the header, we have the main, we have the footer, we have div, and we have h1. They are all blocked element. But the inline element, e.g., we have span, span. So span is what is an inline element in the sense that it follows one another. They are on a single line, like horizontally. Let me just put an example of that for you now. Span, let me say span 1, span 1, span 2, span 3, span 1, span 2, span 3. Can you see even near the stack on the horizontal? Can you see it now? So this is called inline. These are called inline elements. Okay, elements. Okay, and why this one are called block elements? Okay, I think now we can proceed to what we want to do. I'm explaining this for the purpose of those who are new to web development. So going back to this place, we want to have our property, this CSS property, display flex. Display flex, by default, the flex direction is horizontal, and that is why the block element has been changed to what? Inline element. Okay, so now let's change that flex direction to column. So it changes it back to block. Good. Now proportionally, we want to let's do something. Let's put border also for all of those elements in the container. So we have header, we have main, comma, and we have footer. So let's put a border 1 pixel weight. That's the width of the border. Then this type of the border solid, and the color of the border, just for the testing purposes. Can you see it now? We have it here. So but however, I want the main to take the major part of the screen. At least you take the 80% of the container. You know, container is the one taking the whole height and the width of the screen. So we want the mains to take the major part of that, of the height. So they will say main flex, just flex. Since the parent property, we set a property in the parent container to be what? To be, let's reduce this height so as to see what I'm doing now. Can you see? In the container, we set a property called display to flex. Now this gives us access to flex property in the children rules, CSS rules. Okay, so if I say flex 1, this will calculate the height of the parent and takes the major portion of the uh, uh, the portion that, we have three elements in the parent, so it will take the larger portion of the height. So it pushes other one, though you can see it has no effect right now. But however, let's try something like, okay, the height 80%. The height is now what? 80%. Why the other portions of the other child, let's say the header and the footer, they are to share between 20% and mix themselves. So that becomes the header. Let's say 20 divided by 2, that's 10%. Height 10%. Then comma dots footer. Can you see it now? So they've shared the whole 100% of the parents. The main takes 80%, while the other part of the screen takes 10%. Okay, the header, the footer. All right, so we don't have overscroll. So that overscroll, we can undo that. Just come here inside this place, put border, put box sizing, border box. So this one remove any excesses. It remove every excesses. Okay, now I think by now we can remove this container border. Can you see? It's the body actually. So now we remove that. Don't forget our target. We are going for this mode switching. Okay, so the mode switching will be inside the head section, inside the X section. But before then, let's add something here. Okay, inside there, I'm going to be putting the brand inside div. Inside a div, I'm going to be putting a brand, and that brand is SPaICTHub. Okay, and here also I'm going to be putting another tag wherein we're going to be putting our switch like we have it here. Okay, like what we have here and what we have here. So to do that, to achieve that, I'm going to be putting, let me just say mode first without adding anything. That can you see? So it shows is a block element. For us to change the orientation of that element, we use display inside the head section. So we have the head here. So in the CSS, we call the head and change this. You can say dot head. Since this property is peculiar to head alone, we are not setting it inside this particular one, because this is for the two header and the footer. So for the header, since this property is peculiar to it, we're going to call the name separately. So display flex. Can you see that now? So it has changed from, it seems you don't see it. Let me comment that. Can you see from the block element, it transform it into what? The inline element. So but the target is to separate the two elements, that the toggle button should go to the right hand side top right corner, and the brand should be at the left top right corner. Okay, so let's do that. To do that, you say flex justify content. Justify content space between. So As you can see now, it pushes the mode to the right hand side while the brown to remain where it was. Okay, let's also equally put this at the center. It's touching the top edge of the header. So in order to do that, we have a property called align items. Align items, you say center. Center is the value that pushes it. Can you see that now? So let's equally put padding, space between the container, between the head, within the head, say padding. So you see the effect of that now. Padding, we are not putting padding top again since we have already have it at the center. It's not touching the border again, so we don't need padding at the top. We need padding left and the right. So to do that, the value you can supply for the padding is actually, you can actually supply 4 value. The first value is the top, second value is the right, third value is the bottom, and the fourth value is the left. Yes, so that is when you want to give different value to each of this sides. Okay, but if you are giving similar value for the top and different value for the top and the bottom, but different value for the left and the right, you can supply 2 value. Okay, so that will be T and B, that's top bottom, and this is left and right. Okay, so that is when you are supplying the same value for the top and the bottom and the same value for the left and the right. So now in this case, let's use that. For the top, we don't want padding, and for the bottom we don't want padding. Why? Because we already have space at the top and the bottom of this container, content. So but for the left hand side and the right hand side, they are touching the edge of the header, so want a space there. So to do that, I'm going to be giving it 2 rem. Rem is a unit of measurement, as we have centimeter, meter and all. So you can use 1 rem is equivalent to 16 pixel. So 1 rem pushes it that way. So let me put 16 pixel. Can you see? Please take note of that. So let me put 16 pixel. 16 pixel. You will see they have equals, meaning that 1 rem is equals to 16 pixel. But rem is responsible, like it's not absolute. It's relative to any screen device you're viewing in. Why pixel is absolute, meaning that the way it is on the bigger screen, so when you are viewing your website also in a smaller screen, it maintains that pixel, and that can distort your the UI and UX, the user experience. Okay, so that's why you go for rem. Okay, we have 1 rem. However, 1 rem is not well satisfied. We can increase it to 3 rem so as to have more space, as we have it here. Can you see? At least we have up to 2 rems. So let's change that to 2 rems. So let's go back. Good. So we have enough space now. Okay, good. All right, now let's implement this. Let's come to this place again and see. Can you see in here the toggle? The logic behind this is that we're going to be having a div, and inside that div we have another div. The first div has the shape of rectangle that has its border radius shaped. Why the smaller one inside it is a square? It is, yeah, it's a square div. We give it the same size. The height is equals to the value of the width. So, and we change the logic to change the it into from the square to circle. We're going to see that it's just the border radius, nothing much. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to be removing the word mode, or if you want, we can still put it that way. However, let's remove that. Okay, mode. If you want it to be there, let's create a div inside that mode. Then let's say hi so that we see what I'm saying. Good, can you see that? However, don't let me make things complex for us, okay? So let's just remove that, and so don't forget, let me undo. So what we have there is mode, right? So just remove this mode. Instead of mode, we're going to be creating another div inside that. So I've explained that div we created inside this one now is the circle. Okay, this circle that triggers the changes. Okay, can you see it now? So we've not done that now. So let's now call this one, let's call it let's give it a class. Let's call it toggle mode. Okay, why this? We call it the circle. Okay, toggle circle, so that we'll know toggle circle. Okay, now in our CSS, let's go back to the CSS and call that name. Let's call it toggle mode border radius, let's say 1 pixel solid and red, for testing purposes. Okay, it's very tiny, we don't have weight, it doesn't have since there's nothing in there. But why we are seeing that dot is because of the div we actually put in there. That's the circle div. If I comment that, you might not see it again there. So it's even there because we give it 1 pixel. So that's why it's showing that's 1 pixel width. Okay, so let's now set the property. If you look at this one now, let's inspect this website. Let's inspect it. Click on this. Oh, you are asking, how did I get that? Okay, so at the top corner of the browser, you have the 3 dots, a vertical dot. So you click on that vertical dot, then you have the more tools. Under the more tools, we have developer tools. So you click on developer tools, then you have this, and the shortcut on Mac OS is Option, Command, and I, and on Windows is Control FN, that's alternate, Control, and I. However, you can still go through this process. So click on the select. You can see it at this side. We have select an element in the page to inspect it. So when you click on this icon here, can you see it's showing you that you can actually click on it. It's telling us that this is an element, this is a head. Can you see it would even tell us the name of the tag. This is h1, this is span, this is video tag, this is the div and all, and this is container wrapper. So let's go to this place that concerns us. Can you see div toggle mode, and the one inside we call it toggle icon, and in our own stead we call this one toggle mode, which is correct. Then we call this one toggle circle in our own stead, but here it doesn't matter, naming does not matter. But however, what I want you to see now, if you look at the name, at the front of the name we have what dimension. We have the dimension 38 by 18, saying that 38 is the width, and by the height, that's width multiplied by height. So the dimension we have there is 38 by 18, but the dimension of the circle is what, 20 by 20, that's 20 pixels by 20 pixels. So now take note of that, we're going to be using that. And if you look down also again, if you look at the property of the toggle mode, we have the color, that's white. That type of color code is called hexadecimal color code. It's called hexadecimal color code. And we have the font size, and the font type. Okay, then we have the background hash AAAAA. So it's an hash color. Okay, then if you look at the circle itself, it only have background color, right? Of course, and the width and the height. So let's do the same for this. So don't forget 38 by 18 for the major one. So the width is 38 pixel. The height is 18 pixel. Can you see that now? We've achieved that. The rectangular shape, then we need to curve the edge, and that to obtain that, to achieve that same size, we use the border radius. And what we will do is, if you look at this, height of the toggle is what? 18. If you divide that one by 2, what do you have? 9. So put 9 pixel. If you put 9 pixel, that gives us the perfect hemisphere. Or can you see the shape, the corner gives us the perfect, and we achieve what we have at the initial or the prototype we are using. So if you use a 9%, 9 pixel is correct. And also if you use 50%, it will calculate the height. Can you see it gives us it gives us sphere, okay? So we don't need use that. Okay, let's use, if you use 25 pixel, let's see what that gives us. It gives us something not relatable. I think the nice thing to do here is to just divide the height. Is the height that we're looking at. Divide the height by 2. That's 9 pixel. Okay. Sometimes that 50% will give you a perfect circle, most especially when the height is equals to the height. We're going to use that 50% for the circle. Okay. So we've achieved this. So next thing we want to achieve also is to change the background colors to AAA and AAA. Background color AAA. So let's change background color AAA. So let's see that. Let's go back. Good, we now have it. So we can now remove the border, that's red color, that border, we can remove it if you like. We can remove it now. So since we can demarcate, we have a demarcator now, we can remove it. So the next thing is to implement this circle as well. The circle is 20 width and 20 height, pixel height. So let's go back and do that. What's the name we give? That's what? Toggle circle. So we say dot toggle circle. So the width is 20 pixel. The height is also 20 pixel. So let's say border, so as to see what we are doing actually. Let's put red as well to see what we're doing. Can you see it now? Good. So if you look at this is at the center, right? But if you look at this, it's like this is at the top they have their top aligned, but the bottom they are not aligned. So what we do inside the one that is housing the circle, which is the toggle mode, give a property of display flex and align item center. This will help us to can you see it now? So it's now perfectly matched. Okay, it's perfectly matched. So let's change the orientation of this from square to circle. So to do that, I believe you know that now. Can you guess that? Yep, you're right. So that is border radius. So border radius, and don't forget I wanted using 50% initially for the previous. For this one it does not work. Why? Because the width is different from the height. But in this stead now, in the circle, we have the both heights and the width equal. So the 50% will actually work and give us the perfect circle. Can you see it now? Good. Yep. So let's see the circle default color. The default color is background color is EEEE. So close to FFFF. FFF is white. Okay. So if I click on this, you can see now it moves from white to black. But however, we don't. But by default is white. That's EEE. So let's do that also. Background color. Background color E. So can you see it now? Here we have that achieved. So we can remove the border radius now. Good. Good. Perfect. Perfect. But however, if you look at this, it changes the pointer. We have the pointer, but when you hover on the circle, it changes it from hover to what? To pointer. So let's achieve the same. To do that, very simple. It's just the CSS. Inside the circle, toggle circle, we put cursor pointer. That's the behavior. It changes from pointer. Can you see very well? Can you see changes to hand? But now nothing changes. When I click, I'm clicking now, nothing happens. Okay, good. Let's just I think we can now stop there. Now let's just, we are interested in doing this today. Okay, let's do something, or let's push it. Okay, let's add some things here. Let's do some little design now. So let me just walk you through some design inside the main. Now let's add two divs. We are going to call one sidebar, while the other one we are going to call it, let's say, sidebar. So this one will show options. Then let's call this one div. Let's call it display content. So this one is where all the element display content. So when a tab is clicked, it's display of. Let's look at that. Can you see now? Let's now give it the sidebar should take at least from this edge to this very place, while the remaining value to be for the display content. Okay, let's do that. Let's go inside the main. Let's check the CSS, the main property. Yeah, inside this main, let's say display flex. You see it changes from vertical to horizontal, from the block elements to the inline. Now, having done that, let's equally, okay, good. So let's now work on this sidebar and the content. Let's give them a name. Excuse me. So inside this sidebar, I'm going to call it sidebar. So some person asked me, is the double underscore. It depends on how you want to name it. Double underscore, that's what I use. Okay, side, and then press your shift. Then the key beside is 0 on the keyboard. You press it twice. That's underscore bar. Then the second one, you call it class. Let's call this one section. Okay, section. So let's go there. So under the anywhere at all, but let me put it alongside with the parent. The parent now is the main, right? Then the two children, we have the sidebar and the section. So let me put that dot sidebar. Let's say flex 1, and for the section dot section flex, let me give it 2. So let's see what will happen. Okay, can you see? Nothing actually happened because, okay, this is not sidebar. So can you see? So you can have that. Good. Can you see now? It pushes it, but let's make sure that the sidebar is not too big. Okay, can you see what happened here is that the two bar, the two section, the two div will divide based on this value. We have 4, so meaning that the width of the parent, and that was that parent, the main, the width, divide that parent width by 4. Then out of that 4, take 1/4, give it to the sidebar, and the third quarter, give it to the section. Okay, let's add this thing to rate the border so that we can see how the value is being distributed. 1 pixel, solid, and red. Can you see? So it divides the portion, the parent, by 4, then gives 1 portion for the sidebar and 3 portion for the display content. And if you can see, look at my cursor now, from this red point to this place is like equals to what we have from here to here. So here from here is 1, from here to here is 2, from here to here is 3. So it takes 3/4 of the value of the mother width and it gives it to display content, while 1/4 is assigned or allocated to the sidebar. So I'm not here to tell you how to create, what we have intention is to create our mode. However, I just want to walk you through for the purpose of those that are new to web programming. Okay, this alone you can create your portfolio and all. Okay, and if you want it to be divided by 5, you can just change this one to 4, meaning divide the width by 5. Take 4 portion, 4/5 of the value to the display content, that section, and 1/5 to the sidebar, and you can see now it reduces it. So also I want us to put let's just add some little things to that so as to make okay, I think we can display this at the center, we can display this at the center as well, and display this footer too at the center. So to achieve that, let us put it inside here. So here, let's say display. First and foremost, you have to set display inside the sidebar display property to flex. Then you can now use justify content center, then align item. Justify content center, it will only justify the content at the horizontal level, but for the vertical level the intention is to have it at the middle here. So for us to have it at the vertical level as well, you use align item center. So this one pushes it at the center. Okay, so both of them work hand in hand. So to do that, we are going to do the same for the section. So just copy that 3 lines of CSS, that is display flex, justify content center, and align item center. So we have it here. Okay, now for the footer, let's do the same for the footer too. Let's make it to be at the center here. So let's go this center. I'm going to be change the footer spark 20. Let's just put a copyright. Okay, let's name a copyright claim. So spark. So for us to achieve that circle, that C with circle, that's copyright logo, we use apathan sign, that's unsigned, and copy, then comma. Okay, so what's this? Then let's say 2024. Let's see what that gives us. That's P. Oh, cool. However, we don't want P, we only want circle C. That's copyright. Good. So we want it to be at the center here. So what do we do? Inside the footer, we're going to copy the same thing we have here. That's display flex, blah blah blah. Then come down to where you have the footer. Have you said the footer before? No. So just call the footer selector dot footer. So as we have it here, can you see the class is footer? So we start with dot footer, then paste that into. Can you see it now? We have it here. So let's concentrate on the JavaScript now. So that is how to, that's what they call outline. So in case you want to put space in between this, you can achieve that also. It's very simple. So I think as time goes on, I'm going to walk you through on how to do other things with this outline you have here. But let's concentrate on this. Now we have walked through HTML as the structural part of the website. We have walked through the CSS that help us to style, position, create the type of look we want. Okay, now JavaScript handles events. One of the events is click. So now if you look at this, I click, that's an event. What listening to that event is the JavaScript that help us to listen to that event. It's a JavaScript responsibility, okay? Not CSS, not HTML. It's JavaScript. So let's do that also here. When I click on this guy, I should change the background to white, then text to black. Can you see it's alternating it? When the background is black, the text is what? The text is white. So let's do that also. Let's achieve that. So don't forget, the background at initial state, the background is what? Black. So let's make sure the background of this is black. So how do we achieve that? We go to the container that is housing all of those. Can you see? Head is inside the body, header is inside the body, main is inside the body, and the footer too is inside the body. Can you see? It's the body that is housing them, and that body we call it what? Container. Here we have container, isn't it? So here, let's just change this. Let me equally change the font family. It's not necessary, but you can do that also if you would. So I'm changing to that area. Good. So the background color now, let's say background color black. That's 000 black. So can you see? The background color is black. Have we set that? Oh, sorry. Border colors. That background color black. So everything changes to black. But however, you will see our text also by default is black. So we have to change that as well inside the container. So to change color of the font, we use color, just color. Then you change it to EEE or FFF white. Okay, can you see it's managed? It's okay. So if you go back to this place now, you can see what we have. It's like we are getting to where we're going. Okay, now let's remove. If you like, you can remove the background, all these border red, blah blah blah, this border red. So instead of red, let's change this to gray if you don't want to remove it. So let's change this to AAA. Let's see what that will give to this. I think is it better? You can remove it. Is it necessary again? It's not necessary again. But however, for the purpose of section, let's leave it. For the purpose of section, let's leave it. So let's change this one to AAA so that it can be uniform. And also let's check any other red. Let's change this to, we are changing the outline border color, okay, just to make it look cool. All right, good. Now that by default we have black background and white, somehow white text color. So let's jump to JavaScript. We are okay. Before then, inside the CSS file, let's create .bg white, just a class, upper class. We have not used it in any of these HTML elements at all. We have not. But what we want to do is that when I click on this toggle button, it should add this class at the runtime. You get at the real time, you should add this to the container class. This body should add this to display like this, background dash white. So with that, it will change, it will alternate the color, the default color of black to white, and the default color of the text to black. So that is the intention. So now let's do that. Let's just set the value first. The background color, let's set the background color to white. Let me put EEE, and color of the text to black. So we can use 000 or 333. It's very close to black 00. So now you can see nothing changed. But once in a situation whereby when I click on this toggle, it should add this class automatically to this line, this line 6 body class container. You should add it to this place by putting it bg. Let's try something, bg-y. You will see these changes. Can you see it now? That is the intention. So it's this guy that is going to do that for us, this toggle button. So let's get it work. All right, now I think we can now close our CSS now, or let's collapse the CSS. Let's collapse that. Good. So in the JavaScript, like I explained in the previous tutorial, JavaScript secret that you should know. So you can watch that video. You see a lot of ways by which you can actually get elements from HTML. But now, if you look at this, we want to get the event should be triggered when this circle, where is the circle? Inside the header. When this toggle circle is triggered or clicked upon. So we need to get this. So let's get that first. How to get that? JavaScript recognizes HTML file as document. Then to search for the elements that want to trigger the event. And what is the name of the element? It's called toggle double underscore circle. So it's a class. So you start with dot toggle underscore to underscore circle. So that does the magic. It gets it gets it for us. It gets it for us. So let's add an event listener. Now that we have gotten it inside the store, this document is like a store. Then we search, we look for a button called, or an element called what? Toggle underscore button underscore circle. So that help identify that particular element. It won't take it for any other element, except maybe you have the same element that bear the same name. Okay, so but in this stead, we don't have any element that bear toggle circle, so we only have one toggle circle. So we are good to go. This finds that for us. Then we can now add a property called add event listener. So this event listener takes two arguments. It takes in function. It takes in the name of the event, which is in string form, and comma separated by comma, the function, that is the action that it should perform. Okay, so one of the events event is click. Also we have double click, we have drag, we have scrolling. Okay, there are lots of them. We have key down, key up, and all. So but in our step, we're going to be using click. So click is the event. Then we pass the function, the actions to be performed. Can you see it now? Please look at the syntax very well. I dropped it because of the length. Okay, I dropped it because of the length. Or better still, this element can be stored in a variable. How? Let's do it this way. Let's store that element in the variable. I'm going to be calling it toggle or toggle button. Let's just call it toggle button equals to that. So instead of all using this long code, we've already cast the value inside this variable. So this variable is going to be a point of reference to it. So we're going to be using toggle button. Okay, then toggle button dot add event listener. Inside is a function. That add event listener is a function. So inside that we have two arguments. We have the name of the event and the function as well. So the name of the event is click. The function now, what's to be done? let's text that out first if we have done normal. So let's alert Google toggle. When the button is clicked, we want to see it display toggle. Okay, let's do that now. Can we refresh? Nothing actually happened. Unlike this one is something is happening, but something is not happening here. Why? Because we have not linked the JavaScript script with the HTML. Remember, we linked the CSS. That was when CSS started working. So we need to link the JavaScript file also inside the HTML file. So to do that, you add it using a script tag. Restrict that before the body closure. Okay, so let's say script, and I like doing it inside the body closure before the body closure because of the performance. Okay, because of the speed. All right, the performance of the website, of the loading performance. All right, now we have script and the closing. So in the opening tag of the script, you had src where you supply the name of the JavaScript file. That's, can you see, intelligence have shown us already, that's mode.js. So now by clicking on this, it's going to show us, let's see, alert the toggle. The name is circle toggle. Are we right? Let's check it. Okay, toggle circle. So we have toggle button, add event listener function this. So it's saved already. Let's go back and should we refresh or not? Let's click. Good, it works. So now we are able to look for that, but now the intention is to change the border, background color not to be showing toggle pop-up. All right, to do that, don't forget what we want to do now is to add the class we created in CSS that we've not used, called background, that's bg-white. We want to use it inside this container. We want to add it to container at the running time, that's bg-white. Okay, so it changes it, can you see? So that is what we want to do, but we want to use that toggle to do that for us. So in order to do that, we need to search for this container as well. So, and I believe you know how to go about that now, what we did for the toggle button. To do that also, we can equally save it in a container. We can equally use a variable to hold it. So we can call it the website body. Okay, is equals to document or search the letter dot container. So it's the container we are looking for in that store called document. Okay, now let's try something. Document, let's print out the document. Let's say document dot, now let's just print out the document. No, we are printing this. We have already casted the value in here. So let's put it here. Let's see what that will bring for us. Let's click on switch. Can you see? It shows us now that we now have access to the object HTML object. That's HTML body element. Okay. So now we want to change the background of this the body, because it's inside the body we set the background to be what? Black and white. Can you see it now? Can you see black and white? But we have set another property called background white. So how do let me close this. Let me close it so that I can see what I am doing. Okay, let me scroll this one down. So this class, we want to add it to what? To this website body at the runtime. So first and foremost, we have to check if this class, because it's going to be a toggle. When you click on it, it changes. When you look at it, when you click on it, it changes from white, the black to white. When you click again, it changes from black to white to black, and so on and so forth. So that's what we want to achieve. So to do that, we need to check if initially we have this class and in this body called this body having a class attribute with the container name, and also if it has this bg.white. If it has bg.white, it means we have to change it from white again to black. So now that's what we're going to check. To do that in JavaScript, we use a class called class list. So we have it on this element because this is the element in question. So we have the question, we use a conditional statement, if statement, if else if. So this takes the condition. So if the condition is true, if it is true, it comes inside this place. So it executes this statement. Okay, it executes this statement. But if the condition is false, it comes into this block and executes this one. If the condition is false, comma, it executes this statement. Okay, now we want to check what's the condition to check for. We want to check if bg white is in here. So how to do that? We check web. We've searched for that element already. Dot class list. Then you will ask contain. Does it contain a class called, what's the name of that class now? bg-white. We are asking, does it contain that? Let's see. Let's alert something out. If it's there, it's going to say yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it contains the bg white. And if not, it's going to alert us that no, it failed. If this is not inside this place in the body section inside the class, it's going to say no. You say no, it does not contain the bg white. So let's try that out. And when I click on this, what do you see? No, it does not contain. And of course, let me open the browser, the developer tool. More this. Now come in here. Yes, we have it here. That's body container. So if I click on this now, it's not there. So now let's add it. Let's add coded it. Let's just add it ourselves. Let's add this background white and check. Good. Can you see? Is it not here? It's here, right? Then if I click on this toggle, it's going to tell us yes, it contains the bg white. So when it contains the bg white and you click on this, it is expected that it removes it, so it goes back to black. So when it is not there, it is expected when I click on it, it should have that white background white, so that it changes from black background to white background. So let's do that. Let's get that done now. So let's remove it again. Let's leave it to how it was. That's white. Black. Good. So you can see now it's no more there. It's no more there. So to add it, this condition, this is the same thing we're going to be using. Just copy that. Let's comment this and paste it. That's website body.class list dot. If it is there, we want to remove it, then you say remove this. Okay, and if it is not there, we want to do what? Add it. So we use the word add. So instead of that add what? Add white background. So let's go back to this place. So watch this place closely. Okay, look at this. Then let's click on, let's refresh. Good. Can you see it's still container background white? Okay, now if I click on this toggle now, it is expected to change to add that background white bg white to this, and by virtue of that, the background of this screen change. Can you see it? So cool, we have it. It's added at the runtime level. So we are not the one adding it now. We are adding it. JavaScript is helping us to add it automatically. So we have bg-white. So it changes the backgrounds to white and the text colors to black. So when I click again, look at what happened. It removes it. And by virtue of removing it, it goes back to the default background color or settings. Okay, good. So we are done. But however, if we go back to our prototype, when I click on this, the button itself, the toggle button, moves from left to right. And also, not only that, the background color of it all equally changed to black, telling us that when you click on it, the background is expected to stay to black. When you click on white, it is expected to change to white. Okay, so let's equally achieve that also. To do that is very, very what? Simple. So what we do now is we use let's say toggles. Don't forget the name. The name is what? But circle. So let's extend that name. Toggle circle underscore double underscore move. Can you see? I'm going to be using that one, the word move. So the move now, we want to move to the right hand side. Okay, and to achieve that, let's see, to achieve that, we have two ways of doing that. So the parent name is what? Is inside this parent, right? So meaning by default, the position of this is what? Let's use float left. By default, it floats at the left hand side. Let's change that float left to right. Let's see what will happen. Right. So float right is not actually on the body, a hand. It will be on the child. You know, it's the one, that's the circle. We want to float left, float right. So let's check. If I put float left, it maintains the left side. So let's say right. What will happen? It does not still what? Move. Why? Because there is a property we need to set before using this float property. In the parents, that's toggle mode, set a property position to relative. Then in here now, let's uncheck this and see what will happen. Good. So it's still the same, right? So don't forget, we've set the property of the parent to what? Inside the toggle mode. Don't forget, this is the parent and it's inside our container. It's inside the parent and this is the parent name in the CSS toggle mode. So and we set the property positions to relative. So the child also set the position relatives to what? Absolute. So nothing changed. Okay, now let me show you something. Right, if you say right property, we now have access to right property because of what we have set. That's property position relative. We can now move from left to right. So the right now, we know initially we are what? On the left hand side. So let's go to the right hand side. If I put 0 now, it pushes it to what? To the right hand side. Cool. Clap for yourself. Okay, now we've achieved that, but that is not what we want to do. We want to do it ourselves. When I click, it should move to that side. When I click again, it should move to the other side of the screen. So what I will do, I'm going to set this inside this. Don't forget, inside what? Inside this toggle circle. Can you see? Inside the toggle circle. So we put, instead of right, I'm going to put left at the default level. Can you see at the default level, it still maintain the side it is, right? When I click, it should move here now. So how to do that? We're going to set a class as well. We've set that class already, move, right? So let me copy, okay, let me copy the background color. Okay, we're going to change both background color and this background color and the position. Can you see what we change here is what is the position and the background color of that circle? So that's what we're going to do. Let's move down to where we set the name now. Toggle circle move. So background color to be, is it black now? Black. And right should be 0. Good. Let's click. Nothing happens. So we are going to do that in JavaScript. Can you see the power of JavaScript, the secret of JavaScript? Okay. Now, this is when we want it to happen. When I click at the initial state, if this contains background white, it means that everything is going to be what? White. So this is not expected to be white. It is expected to be what? To be black and also move to this side. So to do that, we need to add the class to this place. Let's see. Now, can you see that this circle, we need to add the class. So let me add the move circle, toggle circle move to that class manually. Let me add this to it manually. Where is it now? Let's reduce this. Yes, let's add this to it manually here and see what will happen. Okay, where is it now? Are we really there? So circle move, toggle move, toggle move right. Okay, can you see it shows what? Black. Can you see it shows what? Black. It shows the black, but we want it to move to the other side. That's right. Okay, right circle, that's, let's say, important. Okay, it's toggling, but it's not moving. Let's see what is happening there. Circle. Okay, let me remove this. So we've added this manually. Let's change this place. Let's move to the former circle, the default one, which is toggle circle. So let's change this to, let's comment that and see what will happen. Can you see it actually move? Okay, but when we remove it, let's remove it from here now. JavaScript will add it, so let's see what will happen. Good. Meaning by default, the direction or the position of that circle is at the left hand side. So when you click, it is expected to go to the right hand side and also change the background colors to white. So let's do that. To do that, similar implementation. So similar thing. So we have called the name already, and the name is what? Toggle button. So don't forget, is the name remain the same. So we're going to do the same thing that class. We're not going to be checking whether it is there or not, since this has covered the logic. So we can just put it in the truth button, true block and the false block. So we have toggle button dot class list dot if the background color, don't forget the logic. Let's think about it. Let's just think about it before we move further. What we want to do now is look at, if you look at this one, we've checked if background is black, it should not move, meaning that should not be added. But if the background, if the white is added, it means this should be what? Should be added. Are we getting it? If the background white, let's go back to the main one. If the background, this is background black, so we check, is BG inside this container? No, meaning that it will jump to the next the first block and add that class to show white, right? So when it shows white, it means the movement of this should be when we click and shows white, right? When it shows white, it should equally move alongside with the change. Oh, good. So let's do that. Toggle button dot class dot hard word hard. What's the name of the class? Toggle underscore circle underscore move, right? Yeah, move. So let's check that out. Let's check that. Now let's click. Pum, it moves. Oh, correct. But when we click on it again, it remains the same. Why? Because the name, the class added here, the class added inside the circle, it's still there. So we have to remove it. Let's refresh again. Can you see it's there? And the class name is no more here, because when we refresh it will disappear automatically. So let's look at that. So can you see now it's not there, but when I click on it, it's added that class name. Okay, so when I click again, it should remove it, meaning that the check, that bg.white is present. So inside this present, the true block, we have to remove it. And what are we removing? The class toggle circle move. So let's check it out now. Let's see. Pim, it moves. Correct. So it's work the way we want it to work. Okay, now if you inspect it very well, now let's inspect this. It's inside the head. Let's look at it closely. Then open this one. Now we have, this is the toggle circle, and this is the circle, the container. So if I click on it, by default they are the right state. So when I click on it now, can you see what happened? The two elements, the body and the div that have the toggle circle, their property change from single class to double class. Okay, now if you click on it again, it toggles that again, it changes it, it removes it, then it goes back to the default property. So that is all about toggling, and you can see it works fine. It works fine as we have it in the prototype. Okay, so stay tuned to my channel. I'll be bringing to you all these secrets in JavaScript. This will form the basic of your proficiency in web development, and from here you can navigate your way to React.js. You knowing this, you're good to go to start learning Java React. Okay, so on this channel I'm going to work with you how to create React application as well. So and don't forget, share my video and like it, and also subscribe if you have not subscribed to this channel, and turn on your notification time. Bye for now.